Welcome. This is Sovereign Commercial Services live podcast. This is actually our first podcast today on July 19th, 2018. And here we are at Sovereign Commercial Services, which is located at 215 Vine Street in Scranton. This is the recruiting office. And we are live today with one of my assistants, Ivan, and we thought it would be great just to start podcasting and getting the word out there about Sovereign Commercial Services and what jobs we have available. And I thought how great to start this off with one of my assistants, Ivan. And he's going to share with us a little bit about his position, how long he's been with the company, and what we do. Sovereign, I should say. Welcome, Ivan.
Thank you, Len. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
So we're going to start off doing some podcasts on a weekly basis with different people in the organization. And what better way to start off with the People and Culture Department at Sovereign. And I wanted to just ask you a few questions, and hopefully you'll be okay with that.
I'm fine with it.
All right, great. So for the people that don't know Sovereign Commercial Services, if you can tell them just a little bit about Sovereign and how long you've actually been with the company.
Okay. Well, Sovereign Commercial Services is a facility cleaning company. We're based out of Scranton, but we have accounts all over northeastern PA, Pottsville, Lancaster, Allentown, even Binghamton, New York, Gettysburg. And we do facility cleaning at different buildings, schools, warehouses, offices, medical facilities. So any place a building needs cleaned, we're there. That's what we do.
Okay, and you're actually based in Scranton at the recruiting office.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay, so I just want to make sure you're with myself in the
Right.
recruiting department, and also we have Marvin, who is
right.
our also talented recruiter
Yes, he
that
is.
works for us part-time. So let's talk a little bit about your role with Sovereign, and how long have you been with the company?
I've been with Sovereign 8 years, halfway to 9. So January it'll be 9 years that I've been here.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yes.
Time does fly when you're having fun, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Let's talk about your role with Sovereign. So when you came on board, although I know the answer to these questions,
Right.
our listeners don't, and some of our employees and associates that are currently working with us may not. Tell them a little bit about how you started with Sovereign.
Okay. When I was first brought in, I was brought in as a trainer and inspector because training is part of my background. When I got into Sovereign, the company was, wouldn't say new, but we were just starting out fresh, and we weren't as big as we were today. So I took on multiple roles. I took on roles as a client service manager where I had accounts and I was responsible for making sure the employees were there doing their job. I was interacting with the clients. I also had a role as a coverage coordinator for our facility assistant team, which covers accounts that are open or accounts where people are off. I had to schedule people to do that. So I used to always think of myself as I had my hands in everything. So I was doing management, I was doing inspections, I was doing training, and I was also making sure all our accounts were covered on a daily basis.
So you've been evolving into this role. For those of you, the individuals that don't know, our associates that work with you or anyone looking, to work with Sovereign, you've had many opportunities to move into many different positions, and obviously one of our core values is opportunities for all.
Opportunities
So
for all, that's
this
true.
is a prime example of the opportunities for all.
Right.
Okay. So with that, currently right now, you're with People and Culture
Yes.
in my department.
Yes.
And there's 3 of us that work in this department. And what was one of the things that really wanted you to move from what you were doing, such diverse roles that you were playing within the organization, to coming into People and Culture?
Well, I think being in the different roles, being out in the field, having accounts, and training people at all the accounts, I had knowledge of every account we had. And being that my background was in training and I like working with people, I thought People and Culture would be a good place for me because I could have an effect on every new person that came into the company. Doing my training with them, and right now in a role as a recruiter placement, what I'm doing is I'm out in the field recruiting people from all over, all the different locations we have. So I get to meet them there. Then the ones that we do select, they come in, I do their paperwork, I do their training. So I have an ability to have a positive effect and let them know how great a company Sovereign is.
And that's really, really what we're all about too, which kind of sets us apart from our competitors. Is we're all about building that relationship, making sure the onboarding process is really thorough. And I think with your assistance in that's really excelled with Sovereign, and it's been great, and we truly appreciate that. If you had to tell our listeners one thing that you enjoy most about the company, and maybe there's multiple things, but if you had to say one thing that you would want someone to know about if they were thinking about coming on with Sovereign, what would that be?
I think the word that sums it up for me is family. I've worked a lot of different places, and some of the places you work, you're just I would say a number. But here is Sovereign. From the day you walk in, everybody's friendly, everybody greets you nicely, and it's just a family environment because you know everybody here, you know the managers, you know the vice president, you know the owner, and you interact with them, and it's just like a family. So when you're out there doing your job, it's not like you're doing it for the company, it's actually like you're doing it for yourself too. You're a part of it. So.
And that's great. We do really love the fact that although we have over 250 employees working for us, we do like to know all of our employees, and although we might not see them every day, I think some way they're touched every day from an emotional standpoint or a physical standpoint, meaning that they're in the presence of their managers, they're on the phone, they have that quick access. There's not a lot of red tape, more or less, that you have to go through to get an answer. So each employee is really unique as far as being easily accessible, and they could pick up the phone and call us, and that's a great way to put it as far as the family. And we like to still think of us as that kind of industry and offering that one of those perks to our associates. Great. I mean, that's awesome. I think that, we wanted to give just our listeners a brief overview, a little bit about what Sovereign does, what our recruiting team does in the People and Culture Department, and, hopefully maybe somebody out there will listen to it and want to come aboard with us.
I hope so. It's a great company.
So if they want to get in touch with Ivan, how do they get in touch with you?
You can email me. You can go to our website, which is sovereigncs.com. You can email me at imofiti@sovereigncs.com, or you can call me. Here's my number, 570-343-8546, extension 191. And call me anytime. If I don't answer, leave a message. I will get back to you right away.
Thank you, Ivan, so much. We hope everybody enjoys our first podcast, and there'll be more to come on a weekly basis. Stay tuned for those. Sovereign is always on the move recruiting, and if you, again, would like to reach out to Ivan or stop by our recruiting office at 215 Vine Street in downtown Scranton, or like he said, apply online at sovereigncs.com. Sovereign, let's work together. We're an equal opportunity employer and drug-free workplace. Thank you, Ivan.
Thanks for having me.